Big news for the Phoenix Suns as the team's big man looks to be changing his look ahead of the 2024-2025 season. Jusuf Nurkić sharing video of him working out this offseason and adding some new elements to his game that could play dividends in new head coach Mike Budenholzer's system as Jusuf Nurkić is donning a new look. We're going to break that all down right here for you guys on Suns Digest. My name is CJ Pierre. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get into the new look version of Jusuf Nurkić here in a moment. But before we do that, we noticed that about 83% of you guys have been watching our videos from the start, and we appreciate that. But you haven't subscribed to the channel just yet. If you want to make sure you're keeping up to date with all the latest Suns news and updates as we head into the upcoming season, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing that we're going to have cooking for you guys. And speaking of cooking, let's get into this one as Jusuf Nurkić appears to be slimming down. The Suns' big man, the man in the middle, sporting a new look these days as he gets ready for the upcoming season and is training and getting his body ready for what could be a championship run for the Phoenix Suns. Now, Jusuf Nurkić was acquired in that trade with the Portland Trailblazers that sent DeAndre Ayton to Portland and bringing back Nurkić and some other pieces. Nurkić was a little bit disappointing as far as his performance with the Suns in his first season in Phoenix. He was kind of disappointing in the playoffs, got pushed around a lot in that series with the Minnesota Timberwolves and didn't really have the kind of impact that most fans had hoped for. He wasn't necessarily great on defense, and he didn't really impose his will offensively when he had opportunities, just kind of more, garbage time, buckets here and there, but nothing really impactful. And that kind of hurt the Suns in their postseason run. But it looks like Jusuf Nurkić is changing things up and looking to add a new element to his game. And now, as I said, sporting a new look. Let's take a look at this tweet and video Evan Siddery shared of Jusuf Nurkić working out. And Evan Siddery tweeting, Jusuf Nurkić has undergone an offseason transformation, slimming down in weight and working on his three-point shooting. In Suns head coach Mike Budenholzer's system, a stretch five is critical in its success. Nurkić averaged 10.9 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists last season. As we take a look at this video, Nurkic's shooting form, it looks like he's got a little touch. It looks like he's got a nice stroke there, and it looks like he wants to add this element to his game. And again, to mention him slimming down, looks like he's in incredible shape as he gets ready for this offseason, and it looks like he may add this three-point shot to his arsenal, and that will be key to the Suns' success next season. So Mike Budenholzer, head coach Mike Budenholzer, coming in for the Phoenix Suns, taking over for Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel, more of a defensive coach. Mike Budenholzer, more of an offensive mind, wants his team to be more perimeter oriented. And now it's pretty easy when you got guys like Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. And now you add Jusuf Nurkić to the mix. Is he able to step out of the paint and add perimeter shooting to his offensive game? That's going to just open things up even more for the big three, including with the addition of point guard Tyus Jones. Now, if we take a look at Nurkić, he's listed at 290 pounds, 7 feet tall. Now, if he has slimmed down and just looking at that video, it looks like he's lost some weight. He could maybe come into training camp at, let's say, 250. Maybe if he lost 40 pounds, that might help him, particularly on the areas where he struggled, like on the defensive end. It allows him to necessarily be more active on defense, allows him to really advance his game, and particularly when as the pick and roll big, and adding to pick and pop in his game, that would work wonders in an offense run by Mike Budenholzer. So a slimmer Jusuf Nurkić that's adding three-point shooting to his arsenal. That is great news. That's huge news for the Phoenix Suns. And there's a potential for Jusuf Nurkić to basically become the next Brook Lopez. Mike Budenholzer really finding his success with a center like Brook Lopez, really kind of revolutionizing the stretch five position and really showing a center position that can shoot it from the perimeter. Brook Lopez adding the three-point shot midway into his career, really just to make himself a more valuable player and a more valuable asset as the NBA was changing. Steph Curry was revolutionizing the game, just shooting from all over the place, forcing teams to really change how they defended. And that means that they were giving up some stuff, particularly on the interior in the rebounding game, having to take their big men off the floor. Brook Lopez didn't want to be a part of that. He was a great defender, but adding the three-point shot to his game really added to his repertoire made him more of a factor, and that ended up leading to an NBA championship with head coach Mike Budenholzer. Let's take a look at Brook Lopez stats here. If you take a look at the far right there's the 3-point shooting numbers from Lopez. If you take a look at his first 5 years in the NBA, he didn't even attempt a 3-point shot. And then as later into his time with the Brooklyn Nets, he started to slowly add the 3-point game into his arsenal, but really took off in Milwaukee as he hit his age 30 season and adding that 3-point shot into his game more consistently, more becoming more of a threat from the outside to help the Milwaukee Bucks eventually win the NBA championship in the 2020-2021 season. Again, over the Phoenix Suns. That's the rough news for Suns fans in that regard. So, Brook Lopez was able to add that element to his game. Is that something that now Nurkic can do? Can Nurkic add the 3-point shot to his game? If we take a look at his stats from last season again, we noticed we talked about the 10.9 points, 11 rebounds. But take a look at the 3-point shooting. Not really much of a 3-point threat. He hit on 24% of his 3-point shots. So again, 3-point shooting, not his forte. That's not necessarily what he does best. But if he's able to add that to his game, that would make him a more valuable weapon and a more viable threat on the offensive end to take some of the attention away from the big three, from guys like Booker, Beal, and Durant. Let's take a look at Nurkic's stats. Now, again, 3-point shooting, not his forte. If we take a look at the far right here, even over his time in Denver and Portland, not a consistent 3-point shooter, not taking many 3-point shots. The most that we probably can take from is the 2022-2023 season in Portland, where he averaged about 2 3-point attempts per game and shooting them at a 36% clip. If Nurkic is able to maybe up those attempts by one, let's say he's able to average, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5 3-point attempts per game, and he's able to up that percentage to something like 43, 44%, he becomes a massive, massive weapon for the Phoenix Suns. And again, as we saw in that video of him shooting the ball and slimming down a bit, that could be what the Suns need. Can you imagine him operating in the pick and roll with Tyus Jones, with Devin Booker, with Bradley Beal, and popping out for a 3-point shot? Most teams right now not even gonna pay any mind. They want Nurkic to take that shot, but if he's able to hit that shot consistently, that is going to be something that teams will find basically shocked by, and then that will open things up for the big three. And then if you're stepping out on Nurkic because you have to respect his shot, then that opens things up at the rim for guys like Booker and Durant and Beal to attack the basket. Tyus Jones as well, who can finish at the rim as well. So this is, I think, is a huge development for the Suns. I think this is really, really big news if this is what Nurkic is truly working on, is able to develop even more so over the course of training camp. I think it's a good sign too. I think he was kind of maybe hoping for, a green light from the front office here in Phoenix, and really just wanted to know that he's a valuable member of this team. And James Jones, rewarded him. They just came out and said they're not trading him. They didn't trade him. They didn't use the first round draft pick that they had in the NBA draft to package him together and get something else. They're committed to Nurkic on this team, and they want him to be an asset, and him developing this 3-point shot, getting in better shape. That's gonna pay dividends for everyone. This is a win-win for everybody, as far as I'm concerned. And I think Nurkic adding 3-point shot to his game, slimming down, is going to help him offensively. It's going to help him defensively, and I think he will then become one of the key pieces to what the Suns do in this upcoming season. But that's just what I think. We want to hear from you guys. Do you think this development from Jusuf Nurkic is a big deal? Let us know what you guys think of the new look Nurkic in the comment section below. That's all the time I got for you guys this time. We really appreciate you. If you guys want to make sure you're keeping up to date with all of the latest Suns news and updates, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. That's all the time I got again. My name is CJ Pierre. This has been Suns Digest. We appreciate you one more time. We'll catch you next time, and go Phoenix Suns.